Hello, everyone. Welcome to this live stream. I'm going to answer some of your questions. I'm going to answer questions that I got in DMs or comments about a lot of it is about like narcissists, like defense mechanisms, like around how they treat people differently and overt, covert narcissist, things like that. Fun stuff. So, and I'm also answering your questions. So if you have any questions, please let me know and I will go over them. So I'm just going to jump right in and start with the first one. So I got a DM and this person was like, why do narcissists basically have like fake personalities or like a fake facade or what they were calling, excuse me, multiple personalities? And because they act one way with these people and then another way, but also there's just like this fake facade that when you get to know them, it's actually not the truth. And why do they do that? So I'm going to tell you the explanation, and then I'm going to actually tell you a funny story. So first of all, narcissists, they do this a lot in the love bombing phase, or when you don't know them, you'll notice that narcissists have a hey, I comment to make you angry. You'll notice that narcissists do this thing where they're like in the love bombing phase and it's like, oh my God, we're just like, you're so amazing and we're best friends and you're the best and I love you. And they're putting on this show, right? And they often exaggerate their accomplishments, their skills, talents, and abilities. And just everything about them is exaggerated. Maybe how much money they make, all that stuff to pull you in, to like lure you in. And then because otherwise, why would you want to hang out with them? So, and they know that, right? They know that they're putting on this facade and then the shame and guilt is building in the background, which they already have a lot of. So they're doing it with that. And the other thing that people always forget about, especially narcissists, but all the personality disorders, is that they need you. They need you for approval. They don't have any sense of self-identity outside of what other people think. So like that's how insecure they are. These are the most insecure people ever. Because, and again, it's just a cluster of defense mechanisms that they're deciding to not work on. So basically what's happening is that they are like, I'm putting on this big persona and this big show for you. So you give me all the love and admiration and attention and praise that I need. That is the dynamic that's going on. And then eventually you get to see that that was just a facade and that wasn't who they were at all. And I often meet people in my private practice. They're like, I fell in love with someone that didn't exist. I started a business with someone that doesn't exist, or they didn't have these attributes, or they didn't, whatever it is. And so it's very heartbreaking, upsetting, frustrating, all of the things. But that is why they do that, because they know deep down, it's like, no one would really like me if they knew exactly who I was. So I put on this huge facade so I can get that supply, basically, because that's what it is. They view all people as supply. You are supply for either two reasons: to offload all their guilt and shame onto you, or to get at admiration and attention and praise. And when you're in these long-term relationships with these people, you're both. So, love bombing. Oh my God, you're amazing. You're the best ever. They're getting that ego need met. And then when you get too close to them and they start devaluing you, then you start chasing after them and trying to get that back. But they're also in the devaluation phase. They get to offload their shame and guilt onto you. And then you're also trying to win them back. And so it's like this horrible cycle of abuse until you get out of it. And the funny story, I mean, I could say this about every narcissist they have this kind of like front, this little like shtick of like, oh my God, I'm just however they are, right? But I think about, I don't know, it just makes me laugh. Maybe it'll make you guys laugh. This guy I briefly dated, and I just call him like the Australian idiot, because they all have nicknames. If you've been here, they all have nicknames. We have Angry Midget, Tall Beard, and this one's Australian Idiot. Because he was so fucking stupid. And he was always trying to come off like he was so erudite and so smart and all these things. And in fact, again, he's from Australia and he would pretend to have an English accent. I don't know if I think he had something about, Australia is a prison. England made Australia like a prison back in the day. And that's that country got started, because they didn't have a prison in England. So I don't know if he had some like upset about, I don't know what it was, but he was ashamed to be Australian. He was pretending to be English, and he was pretending to be a billionaire. I didn't even know this when I was briefly dating him, but he like through conversation, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you telling people that? Like, and he was trying to like, oh, cover it up. And then, but all of these things, I'm like, that's not true. And like, you don't have that business. And why are you saying all of these things to people? Bye. But, and of course, he felt a lot of shame and guilt about that. So, and again, like a lot of male narcissists, they actually hate women. And a lot of them are like secretly or down low gay, but and then so he was always put, oh, you just like you and your femininity. I'm like, yeah, I'm a woman. Like, why are you want to be me? Do you want to be a girl so you could, get attention from boys? Like that's, and I know that's what he wanted. I was like, do you want the attention from the boys? Like, that's why you're upset about me being a girl? Like, why are we talking about this? But even though he presented himself as like this gentleman or whatever, it was like the opposite. So narcissists will always present in a way that they think is going to like draw people in. But and then you find out who they really are. And then they hate that part of it when you find out who they really are. And then on that note, this is also why they hate intimacy. So when you get close to the closer you get, the trajectory it's love bombing. Oh my God, you're the best. And there's all this connection. Your serotonin and oxytocin are so high, you're bonding, all this stuff. And then the devaluation comes in. You start to see who they really are. And that's devastating. And you're in this cortisol state all of a sudden. And but they also do that because they cannot handle too much intimacy. If you hate yourself, like all narcissists do, they're riddled with shame and guilt deep down under. I don't care how confident they come off or whatever they come off, they're riddled with shame and guilt that they refuse to process. So they have to offload it onto you. It's like, I have a stomach that can digest food, but I need you to chew my food for me. It's like that, right? It's like they just refuse to do it because it's too threatening for them to look at themselves. It's very emotionally immature. So what they use people for that are closer to them, you'll notice that the closer you are to a narcissist, the more you get treated like shit. And then people that don't know them, they get the best out of that narcissist because why? They're fresh supply. And narcissists and other personality disorders are more comfortable with less intimacy. And so, but like this feign or fake intimacy, honeymoon phase, love bombing phase, what's called in psychology the idealization phase, because I can get all of my ego needs met without you knowing who I really am. Because if you know who I really am, which I think is a piece of shit, if you know that, then you're not going to like me. And what's going to happen? You're going to reject me. And narcissists are afraid of rejection. So, and they will do anything they'll reject you first and do all of that. So they will just shut you down. And I remember when I first came across a covert narcissist, which I'm going to get into next, because there's overt narcissists and there's covert narcissists. And so I saw him do that. Like the closest people to him, he was like pushing them away. And I'm like, why are you doing that? And including me. And I was like, oh, hell no. Bye. Like, but so that does happen and it's not your fault. I have to say that it's not your fault. If that happens, what you want to focus on is what made you attract a narcissist. Their behavior is not your fault, but I'm just saying and this is the part people rage at me for this, when I invite you to look at what parts of yourself attracted this toxicity so you can heal it and not attract it again. It's not to blame you for anything. You're not bad. You're not wrong. But it's like, you're victim blaming. You're a victim. I'm not victim blaming you, bitch. I am trying to get you to have healthier and better and more fulfilling relationships so you stop repeating the same fucking pattern for the rest of your life. That's all I'm trying to do here in the streets of YouTube. But anyway, that's my little TED talk on that. Let me go to the comments for a second. It's my birthday. Hi, Taylor. Happy birthday. Mine is on Tuesday. Fellow Aries, happy birthday. Woo. I love being born this time of year. It's like renewal and like just everything, like starting over, rebirth. Sorry, I'm going to turn the air off. I'm like getting cold. Peter, hi. Seems like I know. I'm not losing my voice. I have been talking all day and then it's just like cracking a little bit, but I'm good. Thank you for You're concerned, Peter. What is that? Aqua blue? What, in the background I comment to make you angry? Hold on, I need to scroll up. Yes, you're first. Hey, girl. Narcissists are basically one. Okay, well, I don't know about that. Let me see. I do feel like the lights are like clashing with my nails. Let's do a complementary color. We'll do, no, that's blue. Where's my purple? Okay, purple. Purple with the green. I'm okay with that. Okay. Hi, Evelyn. Let's see. Down low gay. Lauren, attention from the boys. What the fuck is happening already? Lauren is about to make someone cry. I'm not making anyone cry again. You need to stop saying that. I got rid of that guy that was wasting your time. That's not about making anyone cry. That's like protecting you guys, because that's not cool. Sorry, I'm trying to turn off the air. And also leave your questions. So if you're new here, I answer questions. Or if you have any updates, if you've been here and you have any updates, I love hearing your updates. Please let me know what is going on. Took a deep breath today, Miss Clayton. I'm glad you took a deep breath. Entire rant is why I love Lauren, covert narcissist. That's my next. I'm going to get into covert narcissist. Love you too. I'm not blaming you. Oh, yes, I did say that. Oh, your nails, aqua blue. Yeah, they're like a, tealish thing going on. Aqua blue. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about covert narcissists, because people, I swear, it's like, I've seen this so many times with my clients, and it has happened to me, like I just said. So you go through all this like healing and understanding about narcissists, and you're like, okay, especially when I work with people, I'm like, okay, I'm not attracting that again. And it's not fully like integrated, but you see the signs when you see an overt narcissist and you're like avoiding it, and like the bragging, all of the, classic things. And then you perhaps might attract a covert narcissist. So a covert narcissist, again, they're both narcissists. At the end of the day, they will all do the same things with the devaluing and everything, but they present initially differently. So I wrote it all down just so I make sure I get all of them. But the biggest thing that I see is that is just what they do is they're the victim. Let me tell you about why I've been victimized, okay, by a narcissist, okay? And they'll be like, okay, let me tell you my whole victim story. And they will draw you in. Their love bombing is like, oh my God, look at what an amazing person I am. And I cannot believe like how this person victimized me. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And you might be even trauma bonding over that. And they appear very like humble, sometimes shy. And they're also often in the beginning very generous. So with anything like materially, but it's usually like with gifts and stuff like that to draw you in, because remember their actual capacity for intimacy is limited. So they could pretend and love bomb and all of that, but they will get that admiration and praise and like get you hooked with like, oh my God, you got me this amazing gift. Like, that's so incredible. No one's ever done that for me before. That is a very covert narcissist thing. And I'm not saying I want you to get your gifts. I want you to like, be, I think both, whatever, if you're masculine or feminine, you should feel respected or cherished. If you're feminine, like, you want to feel those things. But if it's over the top and like, you'll just know it won't feel right in your nervous system. And then they are like addicted to victimhood. So overt narcissists, they're kind of addicted to rage a lot of the time. And but the covert narcissist will go into victimhood, or you'll be talking to them and like maybe you're trying to have like a discussion like, hey, this bothered me, and they'll just get up and leave. And they'll be like, and covert narcissists can do that too, but they'll usually rage at you more. But the covert narcissist will just get up and then like change plans, and it's all your fault, of course. No matter which narcissist, it's always your fault. And they're passive aggressive. They feel very entitled. Now, so do overt narcissists, but they do it in this way. I don't know why. Like, I feel like it's more annoying. It's kind of like, well, I'm just a victim and I'm entitled and I can't, like, I have been through a lot. So please don't talk to, like, please. I might have said that to you. It's like, it looks like that. And it's like, I'm trying to have a discussion with you. I understand you're going through a hard time. I understand that you're the victim, but like, we still need to talk about, and they don't do any of that. And then, or sometimes I'm the covert narcissist I dated that I was just mentioning. I brought up, I'm like, hey, can we talk about something kind of made me uncomfortable? He's like, oh, no, I don't want to have this conversation. Oh, okay. So we only get to talk about things that bother you. Oh, okay. Got it. And so it was just very like, if we talk about this, I'm going to break up with you type of thing. So there's always emotionally and psychologically holding you hostage. But yeah, it's like any form of criticism, you get the silent treatment, they're sulking. Whereas the over narcissist will yell at you, they'll accuse you of that. It's just like more aggressive. But both have a lot of underlying anger and guilt and shame. And if you get too close to them, they will eventually reject you. And that covert narcissist, he like, I dated him like 7 years ago. And I'm like, he reached out to me and I'm like, oh, because we have mutual friends. So I try to be nice. And then I'm like, oh, let me guess. That person's not in your life anymore. That person's not because of bubble. And he's like, yeah, I don't. And I was like, yeah, because you can't handle anyone being too close to you. Like, grow the fuck up. Uh, that's, I mean, when people like just don't want to work on themselves and they just find new supply and, like, I'm just kind of like, I can't with you. If you're really dedicated to leveling up and healing, I'm here for it. Okay, we're going to erase that. And again, I'm answering your questions and we're here to talk about mental health, narcissist. Okay, actually, you can shut the fuck up, John. Let me see. I'm gonna put you in a timeout. Just shut the fuck up, dude. Anyway, always a troll. Let me see. Peter says, "Can you talk about covert narcissism? So if, so if, wait, can you talk? Wait, oh, sorry. So if someone is narcissistic, how do they work on themselves?" Well, okay. I just covered covert narcissism. If you have any more questions about it, let me know, Peter. So, the thing about, and I get this from so many people that are in relationships, especially long-term relationships with a narcissist. They're like, do you think that they could change? And then there's this like desperate, because the love bombing side of them, the side that got you hooked, right? And you really want that person to be real, and you really want that to have a relationship with that person. And that is where the root of that question is typically coming from. It's like, I want that person, but not this narcissist that brings me a lot of pain. But I'm in this like addiction loop. Like you have a chemical addiction. I always call narcissists drug dealers. They find out how to draw you in and like what it is that you want and desire the most, and they create a drug. They become that, and that's the drug. And then they tear it away, and then they bring it back a little bit, and they breadcrumb you, and then they take it away. So it's like, but there are plenty of people, and I've met them, that are like, hey, yeah, I have some narcissistic tendencies. I've been told this. And so they're willing to at least work on it. And with other, like with borderlines, I've seen that too. Like, hey, I've been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. I'm really working on it. Because again, these personality disorders are just clusters of defense mechanisms that are very common. It's like, people sometimes are like, oh, not everyone's a narcissist. I'm like, yeah, no, not everyone is a narcissist, but it's very common because people think it's easier to just offload and use other people instead of working on themselves. So to answer that, like, if someone is a narcissist, or anyone in general, will only do the work if they want to. That's like asking me, well, if will an obese person ever get in shape and take care of their health? If they want to. They often have to have some type of complete rock bottom moment where they burn everyone out, but typically someone's around to enable them, so they'll just keep it going. Even though their circle shrinks and shrinks, like, more and more. I know a lot of narcissists where it's like they don't, have anyone in their life, and maybe that's okay because they hate intimacy. They would rather just not look at themselves, so they'll just deal with that, and it'll be everyone else's fault. Or, another thing, it's like, especially if it's around dating and it's like, dude, maybe you're the problem. They're like, oh yeah, no one's good enough for me. No, no, bitch, it's not that. I promise you. Let's see. Yeah, John. It's like I love when like people like I'm talking about narcissists and like some troll like gets all triggered by that and it's like why do you care? Probably because you are one. It's funny. Um what who's trolling Lauren? Must be in. No, I'm not connected to TikTok on here. Sometimes I connect it to Instagram, like so to go live on both. But I don't know. I've just been doing um, it on here. So I mean, there's YouTube trolls. It's so dumb. J-Ro, trauma not healed is trauma transferred. Yeah, it can be. And so someone gets to be the cycle breaker. And that's been me in my family of origin. And that's fine because it's made me an amazing person and very like healed for I mean, I don't even talk to those people anymore because we have nothing in common. And so a lot of times for us that have been in narcissistic relationships is because we're supposed to break that cycle and we're definitely supposed to heal that wound and release anything that would even attract us to that. So to that dynamic. Because there is something there and I won't stop saying it even if I trigger the shit out of people. Like I'll trigger the shit out of you until you realize I'm right about this because I'm willing to be wrong about things. But with this, if you keep attracting the same dynamic and same pattern, there's an opportunity for you to heal something. There's an opportunity for your self-concept and your self-worth, which is part of self-concept, to be elevated. And that's all I'm inviting you to do, which is kind of leading me into my next thing, which is about elevating your standards. We'll get there in a second. I understand. Peter says, I understand what you're saying, but I hope they are not beyond. No one's beyond help. And like, here's the thing about narcissists. It's like they will blame because it's so much easier for them to blame. It's your fault. And they know the truth. They do. If they don't have some brain disorder where they don't know that's why the guilt and shame wouldn't be there and the anger and the self-loathing wouldn't be there if they didn't know. They do know. And they will try to convince themselves like all day long otherwise. But they know because they wouldn't do certain things. And no one is beyond help, but they just have to want to help themselves. So the best thing that you can do is stop enabling their behavior. Elevate your standards and just like you don't react the same way to things. You don't put up with or tolerate the same type of things. Your standards have been completely elevated. So when you shift, all the energy around you, everything's energy, right? So if you shift, the energy around you has to shift. It just will in some way. We want it to shift for the better. I comment to make you angry. I don't think we can see all your comments from YouTubers. I don't know. I comment to make you angry. Oh yeah, Enemen is great. I'll keep saying it. James, hi James. How are you? J-Ro and gaslighting. Yeah, how do I feel about proprandrol? I don't know what that is. I mean, how do I feel about gaslighting? I feel like gaslighting is a defense mechanism that narcissists do to not take responsibility for anything. That's about it. And it sucks. And like initially it could be very triggering because it's like, are you fucking kidding me? And just do not go into Jade when they start gaslighting. Jade is justify, argue, defend, explain, or even engage. When they start gaslighting you, it sounds so simple. But the most potent thing is to do this. And then just literally, if you can, physically walk away. And they will get all triggered and everything because it's like you just give them what I call the really bitch look. Okay. Or you could just like, yeah. Because they're expecting you to have a different reaction. And then when you get all escalated, oh my God, you're being crazy. You're not doing any of that. No, justify, argue, defend, explain, engage. Do not get engaged. just don't even get hooked into their thing. And then eventually you won't even have any of these people in your life anymore. You'll stop attracting them, which is what I want for you guys. And it's also like on a deeper level. I was talking about this with one of my friends that's more like they're getting into like spiritual talks. It's like these people are operating at a very low frequency. They're very fear-based people. And when you are you can be manipulated through, like, people can be manipulated and controlled through fear. So if you decide, hey, I'm not engaging with that, they like their circle gets smaller of people that they can manipulate and control until they have to shift or they just die off or whatever. So we have to, and that's why I love that there's more awareness about this. And that's why I talk to you guys about it and help you heal, like recognize and heal what's going on. Because if we stop giving these people power in any way, then they won't have it. Then they either have to grow the fuck up and change or just be alone. And they could be alone. Like I've been seeing a lot of that. Like these people that narcissists that used to have all these people around them, like it's just like dwindling down to nothing because people are like, I don't want to tolerate this shit. It's also controlling. They're sick. Yeah. They are mentally ill people, but they can fix themselves. If your arm was broken, if you had shoulder pain, would you just, no, you'd probably want to do something about it. It's the same with this. These defense mechanisms, they all end up in the same behavior. You have these like blow ups with people and like it's all the same. So all I'm saying is just like, it's better to not engage with them. I come to make you angry. That look made me feel some type of way. Do it again. I did it twice. It's just like, just look at them without saying anything. Peter, to be honest, in some ways, I feel on some level I might be narcissistic. I feel like, I don't know, but I know your situation, Peter, and what narcissists loves to do is accuse you of being narcissistic or borderline. They love to immediately diagnose you. So I don't know, but I'm getting that vibe. And also, Peter, you wouldn't be here if you were narcissistic. Well, you maybe would, and you'd be like trolling it and be like, bitch, blah, blah, blah. But like, you wouldn't be like, hey, can I, like, you wouldn't be engaged. You wouldn't be wanting to do journaling and like asking me things. But what I'm hearing you say that in particular, and trust me, I would call you out if I thought otherwise. But and I would say, oh, maybe you have a few defense mechanisms. But from what I know about you, Peter, and what you've shared with us, and thank you for your vulnerability, I do feel like there's some narcissistic abuse going on within your relationship. And a really easy thing to do is be like, you're narcissistic. I cannot tell you how many clients I've had. And they're, going through a breakup, and somehow the narcissist that they're breaking up with, they get a hold of my Instagram or whatever, and then they tell the person that I'm working with that they're a narcissist. They're like, oh, I watched Lauren's videos. You're the narcissist. And they're like, am I a narcissist? And I'm like, you're not. Would you be here working on yourself and dealing with this if you were? And by the way, I would tell you, I'd be like, oh, and I've had to tell clients that before. I'm like, yeah, you have some covert, but no, like, and again, like, we're not working one-on-one, so I wouldn't know, but it's not like narcissists never really touch therapy. And when they do therapy, they find some enabling therapist that just whatever they pay to like feed their bullshit. So, yeah, I'm not getting that vibe, but I'm willing to do the work. Yeah, that's what I mean. You're willing to do the work. Narcissists aren't. I have my faults, and I can I have my faults, and I could look what happened and wish I did things differently and also improve. So that, Peter, is what's called accountability. And narcissists do not like taking accountability and will do everything to avoid accountability. So do you understand how you're probably not a narcissist, but I bet you someone's in your ear telling you you're a narcissist, or saying that you are doing all the things that they do? That's a very common thing. I hate when like I don't hate it. I know it's part of the process, but I get like defensive, like, and protective of like all my clients and my course students and you guys here. That's why I don't like all those. That's why the trolls get shut down. But like, just know that that's what's going on. And the more you become self-aware, that won't happen. So, like, I've had narcissists try to be like, "Oh, yeah, you're a narcissist." Bitch, you know what? You might as be calling me like a, I don't know, an Asian man that's a sumo wrestler. Like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's obviously, like, not gonna hit with me. Like, it's because I'm not those things, you know? If you're like, "Oh, you have green hair." No, well, actually, no, I'm a brunette. "No, you have green hair." It's like, you might as well be saying that to me. So when you, Peter, start to get a stronger sense of self, and that's why I'm saying to, like, do the journaling. That's a great way to know yourself. Do the self-concept work. Do the inner child work to tell your inner children who they really are, which is loved, which is amazing, which is talented, which is all of the things that maybe I'm assuming that there's a gap there you could be told more of. So, like, let me know if that lands, Peter, but it's an opportunity to do more of that. And also, like, and this was the last thing that question I had in my DMs. But I constantly talk about is you have to elevate your standards. I believe that you should always be elevating your standards. So it's like this, and it just gets better and better and better, whatever it is. It's like, okay, for finance, my finance goal is this. Now it's this. Now it's this. Now it's this. We always want to be improving because life is about evolving and forward momentum. If we're stagnant, we're actually declining. So we want to just always improve in some type of way and having your standards. And what I have my clients do, and everyone, is put health. What are your standards for your health? Wealth, relationships, career, and also in relationships with other people. And you could delineate it like friends, family, myself. That's the most important one. Romantically, with my kids, really delineate all of the relationships. And then career. But wealth and career are different. I put them in different categories because it's like I get to have this amount of money no matter what. And then career is like, this is what I want out of my career. It needs to be fulfilling and whatever. And then spiritually, whatever that means to you. I'm not talking about religion. If you're religious, fine. But like, do you want to trust God more? Do you want to be able to manifest faster? All of those things, which includes like just trust, I believe. So in every category, delineate your standards. And they should be higher than they were last month. And you want to keep going in that type of direction. Let me scroll up. Paralysis is a medication for my anxiety, and it was recommended, but I hate taking it. Just okay. J-Ro, yeah, I've talked about this before, and I kind of try to be like, whatever about big pharma, because big pharma is very harmful. And I do not believe that any type of these medications do not have your best interest in mind. They only suppress things. And what happens is you have this huge rebound effect and plus all the fucking side effects that are terrible for you in so many ways that I won't even delineate. I mean, they can't even run a commercial without talking about the side effects. And I know that they run deeper than that. And so not only does it not help the problem, it makes it worse. And so your anxiety is there trying to inform you that there is something that you need to release, that you get to release, that you've been holding on to. There's some type of wound. There's something there to let go of. Anxiety is worrying about, and it's like a hyperfixation on something that hasn't happened. What is better to do is work with a therapist that would help you understand, like, where did you have to be hypervigilant when you were a child? Where do you feel unsafe? Anxiety is about like security and safety often. So can you do a lot of work and inner child work around, hey, like, first of all, with inner child work, okay, which one of you, my teenager, my 8-year-old, my 10-year-old, like, who feels unsafe? It might be all of them. How can I make you feel safe? I am so sorry that when you were 7 years old, like this happened and you didn't feel safe, but I'm here to make you feel safe now. Say the date, say the full date. It's whatever, April, blah, blah, blah. And now we are going to do things differently. Now you are safe. So I would get deep and do work like that with you. And I've done that with people. Anxiety gone. No more medications. I've had several clients, but one of them, she really took to it because she got down to like her breaking point, and she's like, I've been on every medication, literally. And I smoke way too much weed and I drink way too much alcohol. And I know now it gets in my head. And so I'm willing to, like, she met me and she's like, I'm willing to admit, and like, I honestly fully believe that this can be cured if I could change my mind. I just need someone to help me reprogram my mind. I'm like, I got you, girl. And she, like, because she wasn't arguing for any of her limitations or but we got rid of it in like a month. And then she got her defibrillator out, and like her health really started to improve. Then she started her own business, and like, do you see what I mean? How her problems got more and more like better, like from survival to like champagne problems. And so I would highly recommend, and again, I am not your doctor, this is not medical advice, but I don't think anything well of like any of the psych meds. And by the way, psychiatrists are medical doctors that literally sit with you for 15 minutes and write a prescription for an organ, your brain, that they never actually examine. This is why I like Dr. Amen's work. And on TikTok, I promote Dr. Amen's products, the Brain MD products, because he is the only psychiatrist that actually looks at the brain and be like, okay, you have this. And what does he do? He recommends fucking supplements like saffron and things like that are going to help you, whatever, rewire your brain, depending on what it is. Now, it's a lot less lucrative than big pharma. So, like, it's just all about money. And you could look it up. You could look up all the stuff about the Rockefellers and like how all this stuff got started. But I don't want you to be in that matrix of being so dependent on it and just staying in this cycle of what I think is very abusive. That's my thing about any type of psychiatric medication. James, what is the definition of empath? Of a empath going supernova? What is the definition of it? I mean, like, empaths they go from like knowing or not even understanding what's going on, but just feeling everything and not having good boundaries. A lot of times empaths in general, because a lot of times it comes from trauma, being able to have your nervous system so sensitive like that. But regardless, it's difficult for empaths, like I'm one, so to like learn boundaries. And learning boundaries is the most important thing, like energetic boundaries around just everything. And then when you do, you start to like, you have this like backswing of like, whoa, get away from, and then this other part of it with supernova, and like there's another definition that it's called the something phase. I'm totally blanking out on it, but it's the same thing where you like reach this level of consciousness where you kind of like, it doesn't really present like Asperger's, but I've been misdiagnosed with that because I am like, I really do not give a fuck. Like, I see everything, I see what it is, and so I don't give a fuck. Like, you've already played yourself out. I didn't notice. I mentioned this in a video that's pinned in my Instagram. It's like one of the most dismantling things that you could say to a narcissist. And I just said it like, because I was being all like, whatever, Aspergery, and I'm like, you've played yourself out. And they're like, what the fuck? Fuck does that mean? And I'm like, what do you mean? What, you've played yourself out? And so it's like this sense of detachment. But yeah, in being an empath is kind of gangster, and there are levels of consciousness and like boundaries around that are kind of feel very like profound, and they're hard to go through, but they're worth it. Peter, I guess standing up for yourself and your standards is not narcissistic. No, need to build that into more. And this is back, and I've given you this feedback before, Peter, about like when you have been like in a codependent, like people pleasing type of thing where your needs are last and everyone else's needs are first, your nervous system will associate getting your needs met and standing up for yourself and having boundaries as dangerous and like I'm going to get abandoned. And like the narcissist literally tells you that because somewhere in childhood you got told that if you don't act this way, if you don't perform this way, if you don't put other people first, you will be abandoned, you will be rejected, you'll be told you're selfish, you'll be told all of these things. And I have been there. Like I was raised by someone that was like, "Oh, you're selfish." Every time like I had, or if I like something upset me, they're like, "Your skin isn't thick enough and you're selfish." Like, what? That's really confusing to tell a kid. So I get it. And like I understand all the phases, of and then, dating narcissists and then having a boundary or saying something and then getting rejected by them. And it's like, so it is very scary and it could put your nervous system into this flight or fight state. Like you're getting chased by a bear because it feels so threatening. Like, please, like, I'm going to be abandoned. I'm going to be annihilated, but just keep going. This is where the courage part comes in. So courage is, you know, being afraid, knowing that this is new, that you're outside of your comfort zone and doing it anyway, and knowing that you're moving in the right direction. And all of your inner children will be so grateful that you did that. I'm going to drink some water for a second. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Okay, I just didn't want you to hear me gulp because that would trigger the shit out of me. I comment to make you angry. Wealth is also more than just money. Yeah, absolutely. But that's why I talk about the other areas. So, like your health, like what do you want that to look like? We want to be prosperous in every area of our life. That's a big message I have in my content is that like everything's interconnected anyway. So we improve one thing, other things are going to naturally improve. And sometimes I see people kind of like delay, like stop that because it's like, oh, the other people in my life are going to be threatened. Well, they shouldn't be. They should be happy for you. Let's see. James, can you explain what is supernova when a person who is an empath goes supernova on a narcissist? Like, so it was just what I'm saying. They get to this phase where it's just like it just snaps into place and they're like, and they don't, I mean, sometimes it looks like they're exploding, but sometimes it like, it's just okay. When it happened to me, I'll tell you like that, but it happens in different ways, but it's kind of like, you know what? No. It's like this instant for me. It was like a raise in consciousness. Like I had this aerial view and it was like I was looking at a previous version of myself and I was just like, what am I doing? I don't tolerate things like this. And the narcissist, what happens when a narcissist experiences that is they experience what's called narcissistic annihilation because you're not feeding their ego needs and and you're also not like you're seeing through everything and they don't like that. And they don't like not being able to manipulate and control you. When they realize it's game over and there's no manipulating and controlling you, no, no, sir, no, ma'am. They don't like that. And so they would literally feel like they are dying because, like, again, these people are parasitic. So if they don't have you to drain off of, they're going to feel like they're dying. And then there's this piece of rejection. When you see them and you're like, no, I don't like that, they hate abandonment. They they will do anything to avoid it. And yes, eventually they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it was my decision to in the relationship if it's romantic," or they'll switch everything around to be the victim or to be the one that rejected you, whatever it is. But it does feel like this huge annihilation to them, but you just have this sense of peace that you've never had before and it's kind of like, you're very untouchable and dangerous and like, especially when you heal from, and this has been true for me from the primary, like your first narcissist wounding. And it's kind of like, okay, I have healed from that. So, do you think you're going to bother me? Like my own parents, one of them was like this and was basically my first hater and my first whatever, like abuser. And I completely detached from that and healed from that. And I remember the exact moment that happened. And it was that one. And maybe it was because it was my parent, and that's like very primitive. But that one was like a lot of like just so much sadness, like leaving my body, like so much sadness and like just like visceral, like emotions I've never even, because they were just stored in my nervous system, suppressed for so long. And it was just like, oh my God, is this going to end? It was just like, I don't know if you've ever like had food poisoning, and you're just like throwing up and you're like, oh my God, this is terrible. That's how it felt, like on an energetic and emotional level. And then I was like, I'm done. I don't know. No more second. And they're like, what? I'm like, I'm done. I'm like on a different level of consciousness about this. Peter, by the way, a win. In my book club, I stood by my opinion about a specific element of the book. Typically, I back off or become agreeable. Yes, you should be so proud of that. I freaking love that, Peter. You know, I was talking to a client before this about, because she's like really separating, like she sees people that are so unhealed, and they're like, oh yeah, like they get threatened by her because she has opinions about things. And these are just like normal opinions. And they're like, oh, well, you're so blah, blah, blah. But they also have the same opinion, but they're afraid. She's the only one that's not afraid to say it, basically. And so I love that. And like, you know, that's a form of confidence. And confidence is a drug. People like, even if they pretend to be all like their feathers ruffled, they like people that stand up for something, you know, especially, well, just in general. Like I was going to say, especially if you're a guy, but like, no, I just think in general, like if you stand for nothing, like then what are you, you know, someone that could be walked all over? And how boring, by the way, is it to have a book club where everyone has the same opinion? If you are in any social circle or anything, I think that's one of the most dangerous things. Like people that over-identify being a liberal or this or that or whatever it is. If you over-identify with it, then it's like this cult-like mentality where you can't have another opinion about anything. What the fuck? How are you going to grow as a human? I'm happy for you, Peter. Good job. Thank you for sharing your wins. I like hearing them. Did you get aggressive? What book is it? What are you talking about? What book is it? Grown man in a book club. Okay, you know what? I comment to make you angry. A lot of people are in book clubs. People like reading books and talking about them. Let's be nice. Okay, we're nice to each other up in here. Okay? I like when you're encouraging, Peter. You're good. You're good at encouraging people. I comment to make you angry. Let's do that. Hi, Big Pontiac. Good to see you. J-Ro, Peter. Feel instead of trying to find things that will make you contented, just remove energy suckers. People, habits from your core beliefs will bring more revitalization. Yeah. Again, this is always about redirecting your thoughts and redirecting, because when you do that, you're creating new neural pathways. So it's not like I got to do this and it's going to be perfect. No, we're just creating whatever we give more attention to and more energy to, we're going to create more of. So yeah. And then, you know, it's a process, right? So it's like sometimes you'll be like, okay, I'm moving in a good direction. I'm attracting better things. And then you'll notice another energy sucker come in, but you're responding to it differently. Another thing is like sometimes people will be like, oh my God, I've done all this work and I'm attracting this. No, you're not, because you're responding to it differently. There are plenty of people that are energy vampires and just time wasters and all of that, but it's how you're responding differently. You should be proud of yourself for that. James, wow, thanks for that answer. Wow. Yeah, that's that. Thank you for the question. Like that's a wonderful question. And I have been meaning to do like more content about that, because it's really a trip when that happens and you just have this like, it is, it's like a spiritual awakening, and it's intense and it's like a lot. And yeah, but it's very, very liberating, because like if everything's energy, think about how dark, like narcissistic and borderline and like all the personality disorders, sociopaths, how dark that energy is. And it's been lingering in your energy field, or you've been connected or like linked to this dark energy. And when you let it go, you could see things from a different perspective. And yeah, so it's a lot, but in a good way. I did compliment Peter. You're completely my computer's in the way. Completely. Oh, okay. Tell if you're joking or you're serious about. Well, of course he's serious about his book club. Okay. I'm glad that you're complimenting Peter. Good. Because we're proud of Peter. And I love Peter's updates, all of your guys' updates, and you guys ask amazing questions. I love that. I feel very honored to be answering your questions. Um, but yeah, that's all I had. And so the last thing I'll say about elevating your standards is please get out your journal and definitely your phone. So put these in your phone, my standards, and pin it to your notes. If you have an iPhone or whatever the fuck you have, like there's somewhere where you could write things, okay? And because I want you to look at it every day. And for that to incorporate, sink into your subconscious and your nervous system and everything, so your life starts to draw that in, it reflects it back to you. Whatever you say your standards are, you default to your standards. So if it's like, okay, I always have this much in my bank account, if I like, that's what's going to happen. Okay, so I need you to be really crystal clear about your standards for every area of your life. So definitely do that. Okay. Um, a comment to make you angry. I get your perspective, but if you were in my shoes, going to a book club is standing in front of 1,000 people. So book club is just a start. I appreciate it. Yeah. I love the strides you're making. And we all get to evolve and improve in different ways, right? You wouldn't just, if you're working out, you wouldn't be like, oh good, I'm good now. Okay, what happens if you stop working out? So we're always, are maintaining ourselves and getting better in some type of way. That's the point. That is the point of being on this planet. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight unless anyone has any other questions. Give my voice a rest. Okay, you guys, I will see you for Soothing Sundays. I'm very much looking forward to that. If you have questions for Soothing Sundays, I think I'm going to do another Jose Silva technique. And yeah, but let me know. Are you asking me that, Peter, or just in general? But so, and then Soothing Sundays is always 5 p.m. Pacific time. And I'll go over questions, but I always start that with a neurological reprogramming technique that I'm inviting you guys to incorporate. The one, if you miss Sunday, go watch it. It's the Silva method technique for the right, center, left, which is an awesome technique. You can really rewire your brain quickly. You sent me a message. Okay, I'll check my WhatsApp. That was to Lauren or anyone in the chat. My wins, I have a lot of them. Let's see, one I want to share. I just got a glove. I just got a glove through. I just got a gliding through life. Don't need wins, just no. Everyone needs wins. Come on. Like, you're not above it. It's just good because again, whatever you give energy to, you're creating a stronger feedback loop with. And I think it's a win, like being here with you guys. I've been wanting to just live stream regularly for so long. And I've had whatever excuses getting in the way that were just excuses. And yeah, now I'm here. I mean, I could be like, oh, my throat is like my voice, but I'm here. I got through it. It was a little whatever at first. Peter's checking on me, but good. Also, You decide on a red wig day? Oh my god, why are we okay. Maybe I know I'll film some content and do the red wig. I don't know if it's a Soothing Sunday thing. Um, Maybe next week for my birthday, I'll do the red oh, yeah, wait. I'm gonna have to okay, next week, the live stream for next week will also be on Thursday because that's the only day I don't have plans. But anyway, it might have to be a little bit earlier. Lauren in red is my okay. So we'll think about the red wig. I don't know, it's gonna clash with my nails though. I have to I'm just thinking of excuses. Uh, Fucking right, it's Soothing Sunday thing. We'll see, we'll see. But I will eventually do more red wig stuff. Thank you. You know, I'm here to answer mental health questions, but we're on my red wig. All good. Okay, you guys, I love you. So fun hanging out with you guys. And I will see you soon. Here, you're here, and it's awesome. Glad to see you. You're here. Yeah, thank you. Have you seen my beautiful blue? I have not. Come, come on, no excuses, Lauren. I appreciate it. I will. Okay, I will. I've gotten enough requests. I will do it. And I have been wanting to bust out my red wig, so I appreciate you guys encouraging me. Oh God, relax. I'll see you guys for Soothing Sundays. I love you. You guys are funny. Bye bye.